set up to run. They basically just run the football to try to keep you honest. And what tends to happen is you sit there and you can't fall asleep and sitting there playing pass every down. All of a sudden, a zone or a draw is right up behind you. So you just got to revert it back. Can't allow big plays. You got to stay sound vertically, but it all starts with no matter who you play, you got to stop the run.
Right, and I noticed you've used DJ Calvin at the edge rusher. Is that something you guys are going to do?
Yeah, it just gets a lot of speed and athleticism. Allows us to be very multiple. I guess you can. Where we've been limited is you can't use our devil in coverage. So now we can use him in coverage. We can bring him. We can move him around. Very versatile. So we got a package for him that I think is going to be extremely effective and allow us to be able to get pressure on the quarterback.
It's part of the challenge this week, getting guys to forget about last week and just
yeah. We have. That's just the nature of college football. We've been telling them for 6 weeks. Every time you win a game, the next game just becomes the most important game of the year. So you just don't have time. To sit and dwell on what happened, 7 days ago. You got to move on. You got to hit the restart button. And teams who have the ability to do that, obviously are going to be successful. So we put that behind us. We learn from our mistakes, and you go out and you correct them this week. You got to get back on the winning track.
And when you look at the big picture, there's still plenty to play for.
Yeah, that's right. And that's where people lose sight of. Our players, they understand that. Every single goal that we have is still there. Now, we're not in control of it. Got to have some help. Got to have some things that to happen to allow us to be able to get to the championship games and things like that. That was our ultimate goal. But still, that's why you play 12 games. You play every single game, count them all up at the end of it, and we'll see what happens.
Keith, what is it about Mike Leach's passing attack that's so unique, and what are the main challenges?
Well, I think one is their execution. In some ways, it's very, very simplistic, and within the simplicity of their concepts, it's very complex. If that makes sense, they can execute at such a high level at throwing the football. They know and they understand looks that they're looking for. They have certain routes and adjustments that attack different coverages, but the timing of the throws, quarterbacks being on the same page as the wide receivers, it's very impressive the amount of yards that they throw for a game. But it's the system, and the quarterbacks are so in tune with the receivers.
From your first day here to now, how far is Marcus along?
Well, I tell you what, probably I would compare it to about the development that I've seen in Simone. It's probably equally impressive. I'll even say this: over the course of the last 5 weeks, he's not even the same player. You watch him on film the last 2 weeks, and it's impressive. He is as active and playing as well as anybody in the country, I believe, at that position. It's been very impressive to watch.
Keith, what are the keys in defending that pass game?
Well, it's sound vertical. If you look at it, you throw for a lot of yards, but the scoring offense, they're not in the top 25 in the country, so you cannot allow vertical shots. You can't, you got to keep it inside and in front. So no cheap ones over the head. You keep making them throw the ball in front of you, and then obviously the thing that makes us successful on defense, force turnovers when they do throw it in front of you, and be aggressive, and swarming and gang tackling.
With the emergence of Marcus Patterson and how quick they get the ball out this week, do you see you guys reining back the blitz a little bit?
There's no doubt it's a different kind of obviously game plan than what maybe you've seen over the course of the last few weeks. You'll see a lot more direct pressure coming right into the teeth of the quarterback, and try to, again, you can't sit there and just play defend all the time either. You still got to stay true to who you are and what's made you successful, but on the same hand, you got to be smart in how you go about doing it.
Can you talk a little bit about the seniors, especially on the defense, and them going into their last game with it being senior day?
Well, I think, and that's the one thing that you dig a little bit deeper, because every player on the team wants to make sure that we send these guys out. They've been very instrumental over the last 2 years in all the success that's occurred here. So you want to make sure that you send them out. You do that by the way you play. You honor those guys by going out, and you make sure you send them out on a winning note.